Cowboy fans, it is worse than we thought. A lot worse than we thought. The defense has been putrid through 3 weeks of the National Football League season, but according to a report that has come out, it is one of the worst of all time and historically bad. So we'll try to make sense of it and break it down on this episode of Cowboys Digest. Welcome in, everybody, to Cowboys Digest. I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, and I hate to make negative videos like this, especially early on in the season, but a rant is due. So let's get straight into it. This is the third straight rant that I'm going into right now. Before we get into the video, I want to let you know that around 85% of you watching these are not subscribed to the channel. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out a ton. It allows me to make this daily Cowboys content for you. And at the end of the day, it's something that I love doing, whether the team is good, whether the team is bad. It's sort of a venting session for all of us, so leave a comment down below, leave your support, hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. But let's get straight into the video right here. The Dallas Cowboys were embarrassed yet again by the Baltimore Ravens. The score may have looked close if you didn't watch the game, but for those who had the misfortune of watching, it was clear that it wasn't much of a contest. The Cowboys gave up 274 rushing yards on 45 attempts and allowed 3 rushing touchdowns. What's concerning is the Cowboys' season totals don't even match those numbers. It's ridiculous. So yeah, the Cowboys' run game has been awful, god-awful. They haven't been able to get anything going on the ground offensively, and stopping the run has even been worse. Worse to the point that it is historically bad. Per ESPN research, the Cowboys have allowed 557 rushing yards, the most through 3 games since 1963. Now, I was not born then. I'm born in 2000, and I know that the game was a lot different back then in the 60s. It was ground and pound, and it was run the ball every damn chance you got. So for the Cowboys to be in that sort of company in the year of 2024, it's ludicrous, and I can't even begin to wrap my head around it. I understand that the personnel is not great, but man, show a little bit of heart out there. They have allowed 5.4 yards per carry, the worst average through 3 games since 1979. They have given up 8 rushing touchdowns, the most in franchise history through 3 games. So not only has it been bad, if we read into the numbers here, it has been diabolical. It has been one of the worst defensive performances that we have seen ever through 3 weeks of the National Football League that I've ever seen in my lifetime. And maybe those of you watching that are a little bit older than me, the worst that you've seen in your lifetime. It's been just a slew of disasters back and forth for the Dallas Cowboys defense. They need to figure something out quick here, and Dallas is definitely in trouble, and it doesn't seem like there are any quick fixes for their issues. Their only real hope might be for the front office to come to its senses and make a bold move before the trade deadline, targeting a big-name defensive tackle. Now, I don't know off the top of my head who's going to be available at this juncture of the season and who's going to be available by the time the Cowboys are actually able to swing a move, and if it'll swing the pendulum at all. Like, will it be able to change the course of their season if they can go out and get a guy who can stop the run? They brought in Carlos Watkins, did not play at all yesterday against the Baltimore Ravens. I thought maybe he could have helped. You got to try something different. Mozzie Smith and Osia Digizua are just not going to cut it anymore, and that has been proven time and time again. DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons got into a bit of a scuffle on the sideline there. That is never good, but you want to see a little bit of fire lit under these guys. At least we saw some fight and some sense of urgency in the fourth quarter, but from quarters 1 to 3, there was just nothing there whatsoever for the Dallas Cowboys, offensively or defensively. And right now, if you listen to all of the pundits out there, all of the analysts that are covering the Dallas Cowboys, there doesn't seem to be any optimism that they can fix this issue. It is an irreversible problem that they just have no control over right now. And that, to me, as a Cowboy fan, is the ultimate concern. The fact that this is a huge problem, you know it's a huge problem, you're game planning for it every single week, Yet there is nothing that you can do to stop the opponent from running down your throat every damn Sunday. It won't be next Sunday. It'll be Thursday coming up now, and the Cowboys have a short week. They do not have a lot of time to figure this thing out, and I should not be scared about a Thursday night football matchup with the New York Giants, but I'll tell you what, I'm damn scared. I am, because the Cowboys right now are tied for last place in the division through 3 weeks. The Washington Commanders looked amazing tonight against the Cincinnati Bengals. They just walloped them. Jaden Daniels looks like an absolute dude at the quarterback position. And that was a great pick. Shout out to the Commanders. Shout out to Dan Quinn as well, who has that team played the right way with a lot of former Cowboys on it, by the way. Tyler Biadasz, the center. You got Dante Fowler Jr. on the line, the defensive line. Maybe he could have helped. I don't know, but Dan Quinn stole a lot of the defense, stole a lot of the offensive line, and the Washington Commanders are now 2-1, and they are ahead of the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe Dan Quinn should have been the head coach. I know he had a horrible performance as the defensive coordinator in the playoffs against the Packers, but again, it's a personnel thing. I don't think this is a coaching thing, and to see your two best defensive players, arguably your two best defensive players in Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence get into that scuffle on the sideline, I mean, things are going from bad to worse here for the Dallas Cowboys. And Bill Belichick even chimed in here. Following the Dallas Cowboys' latest disappointing loss, legendary New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick weighed in on their situation, offering a remark that could raise some eyebrows. Bill Belichick's comments on the Pat McAfee show, "I think there's enough talent in Dallas to get things straightened out," could be a subtle suggestion that the issue might lie more in the coaching staff than the roster itself. Now, maybe this is Bill Belichick asking Jerry Jones for a job. I want to come back, Jerry. Give me the keys to this franchise and let me steer you in the right direction, somewhere where you haven't been in almost 30 years. Let me get you back to the promised land. And I think if there's any coach out there that can do it, it is Bill goddamn Belichick. So bring him in. I've had enough of Mike McCarthy and his antics post-game. I've had enough of Mike McCarthy looking confused on the sideline, and 3 weeks into the season, I've had just about enough of Mike Zimmer as well. This is not a coaching issue. Again, it feels more like a culture problem. It feels more like the Dallas Cowboys are just bred to be soft. And that is what you see every single week when they play. Even against Cleveland. Like, it was a convincing performance, but that is not a good football team. That has been established through 3 weeks of the NFL season. Belichick has expressed a desire to return to coaching in 2025 with the goal of becoming the winningest coach in NFL history. Currently, Belichick is 26 wins away from tying the legendary Don Shula for the most career wins. Joining a team like the Dallas Cowboys with their talented roster could provide a perfect opportunity for Bill to reach that milestone while chasing another goal, bringing Dallas its long-awaited 6th Super Bowl. Now, I don't know if the coach solves everything here, but I can get on board with that. Bring in Bill Belichick. However, I don't think Jerry Jones will ever do it because Belichick wants control. He wants to be able to manage who is on the field. And I just don't think Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones are going to afford him that luxury. So for that reason, I just don't think this is a match that'll ever work out. And that sucks because Jerry wants his fingerprints all over the roster. He wants to be the one responsible for the wins and losses at the end of the season. And he's going to be responsible at the end of this year. But again, nothing is going to happen because the Dallas Cowboys are yet again the most valuable franchise in sports right now. All of sports, not just football. So there's no reason, there's no urgency here. Obviously you want to win. I'm sure that's a goal that Jerry Jones has before he ultimately gives up control to his son. But this is... It's getting a little bit ridiculous now. We're almost at the 30-year mark of nothing happening for the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry Jones is largely at fault for that. He won a lot when he first came in, when he first bought the Dallas Cowboys, but ever since then it's been pretty slim pickings, and they haven't even been to a championship game, an NFC championship game. That has to be at least the bar, right, to try to get there. Not this season, because this roster is just simply not good enough, but Jerry wants full control. He's got full control. I don't think he'll ever give it up. And for the reason that he has full control, this roster has just never been good enough to get over the hump or never performed up to expectations, and it's happening yet again a little bit earlier than expected. So maybe you guys saw this coming. I thought the team would be a little bit worse going into this season, but the defense, man, the defense needs to start showing up, and he needs to start on Thursday against the New York Giants. Simple as that. That'll wrap it up for this episode of Cowboys Digest. Thank you guys so much for making it this far. Appreciate the support that we've gotten. We're almost at 700 subscribers, so it mean the world if you guys can go ahead and do that, because 85% of you who are watching these videos are not subscribed. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button. It means the world to me, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Go Cowboys.